Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Laze, the crazy Batman fanatic, and welcome to my show. It is called Everything Nerd. Now, you can see I am the crazy Batman fanatic. I got the tattoo of Batman Superman, and I had a video up earlier, but it was too long, so couldn't do it. So I'm redoing the video completely about what my thoughts are on Man of Steel. Originally, my first video was going to be for the channel, what I think of, reviewing both the Captain America Civil War and the new Batman vs. Superman trailer when that comes out. But I've decided, after talking with someone on my Facebook, before that I will address, the issues with Man of Steel and address, why it's so 50-50. People either hate it or they love it, and it's not universal. Like, it's not universally loved. It's not universally hated. It's right smack dab in the middle. I loved the Man of Steel movie. Now, I'm gonna just break down the reasons why I loved it. I'm gonna break down the criticisms of it. And I'm going to go into why some of these criticisms are legit and why some are not legit. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to try and keep it to the most criticized parts of it as best as I can. And to go into great detail. Number one of the biggest things that seems to come to everybody's brains is the fact that Superman killed General Zod. Now, here's the thing, people. Yes, Superman does not kill. But, if you look at some of his comics, he does actually kill if he has to. I actually have a comic right here, Death and Return of Superman, and I will find this one quote that he says right in it about killing in Doomsday. And it's verified proof that he actually kills Doomsday in it. Let's see. I'm just looking right now. Alright. So in this section here, he's battling Doomsday. Enough Doomsday. If you want to get your hands on my friends, you're going to have to kill me first. And okay, actually, I don't really need to read this part. Next part. Where it's more... Lois asked him, what a Doomsday wants. And he says... Superman responds, he wants destruction and death. To stop him, I have to be every bit as ferocious. And he also responds after that, and unrelenting as he is. He wants to kill, and you can't. But you can't. So she's pretty much begging him not to kill Doomsday. So that proves it right there. And just in case, just another look, that's what it is. It's the Death and Return of Superman. Now, in this case of this movie, he had to kill. And here's another thing that everyone's got to think of. And I'm going to pre-warn you, I'll use this saying a couple of times in this video. Superman was Superman for a day in this movie. Alright? One day. Maybe two. But is that long enough for him to go out and, just have all the moral codes and have everything about Superman? No. It's an origin story. Alright. Moving on to the next section, why everyone complains about him killing. The destruction. Or killing. Everyone complains about Man of Steel. The amount of destruction in the movie. Everyone's like, whoa, why didn't Superman do what he normally does? And why doesn't he just leave him away? Here's back to what I said before. He was Superman for a day. Now, on the other hand, you have to think of it too. Zod had an army, right? an army of people who were warriors, more experienced than Superman ever was when it came to battle. Yes, they didn't really know much about their powers until that time. Superman, but I mean, you add like the whole thing of that they're warriors, but now they're warriors with power, and so with that, and now Superman is trying to fight these guys who are just as powerful as he is and much more experienced in fighting. And there's more than one of them. That's going to be really difficult to try and lead them away from Metropolis. And to bulk this theory even more, I also, in this book, Superman tried to lead Doomsday away from Metropolis. But that didn't happen. And he created more destruction in the Death and Return of Superman than he did in this movie. So, the thing is, that's very much like Superman in some ways. To have that. I mean, it was in the Death and Return of Superman. If it's in the Death and Return of Superman, it means it can happen in the movies. Now, another complaint that people have had is a lack of character development. I will agree that on some characters, yes. But is it as bad as they say? Not really. I mean, we got the basics of what Superman is. The guy from outer space, coming from his blown-up planet. And raised by the Kents. And has a heart of gold. Yeah, okay, they could have done a bit more with made to incorporate more of that Boy Scout image that we all know about Superman. But that's being said, I mean, there was a lot of things that were in this movie when you think about it, and that one I will agree with. I can actually agree with that one. Something else I should point out, back to destruction actually, just came to my brain. Everyone criticized so badly what Superman did in Metropolis. But no one really criticized the Avengers. I get it, okay, there were times that the Avengers did more saving. Now, this goes into another criticism of Man of Steel that I'm going to address. They said Superman didn't save anyone. Well, he did save a couple people, actually. He saved his mother. He saved a soldier who was about to fly out of a helicopter. And he saved Lois Lane. But at the same time, that's 3 people. But at the same time, it goes back to what I was saying before. Superman for one day. Alright, so I've addressed the character development, the killing, and the destruction. That's the 3 biggest things right there. And okay, someone else said this to me, that Man of Steel was not a Superman movie. Well, okay, what's Superman? Let's see. Superman, he's an alien being from the dying planet Krypton who gets sent to Earth to be raised by the Kents. And then he grows up to be this messiah, this godlike figure, and he's raised with the moral codes that the Kents gave to him. What was Man of Steel? He was an alien from another planet, sent to Earth, and raised by the Kents. Not much different there. There's a little bit of difference with the way that the Kents raised him. Now, here's another criticism that I'm going to go into. The whole thing about Clark Kent, or Jonathan Kent, letting himself get killed and telling Superman not to save him. They said, well, why couldn't he use the super speed or fly? Okay, I know in the comics that, they showed when that his powers were like going through puberty when he was getting them. Obviously, it wasn't the case because in the movie they kind of showed that he experienced it right off the bat. But he didn't experience all their powers. There was a part in the movie where Jor-El even said, "Test your limits. You have unlimited powers or whatever, something like that." And he didn't even know how to fly until he got the suit. And I don't even think he knew how to be super fast either by that point. So even if Clark Kent didn't do that, it would have been different. Now, everyone talks about how Clark Kent died and they should let him live. Well, the thing is, he actually died in the comics. People don't realize Clark Kent, Jonathan Kent, died in the comics too. He died of cancer, yes, but he still died. He's a big part of Superman mythos, but he still died. Going back to how he died in the movie, I will actually agree with the criticism in it. To a point. I kind of think, he died. It was a good thing that he died. But I think they could have done it differently. Like, the way they did it was actually kind of... They could have done it a lot differently. Like, having him tell his son not to die. It's a little different. Now, I had more on this subject, but because YouTube wouldn't let me load a video past 15 minutes, I couldn't do that, and I had to really shorten this. So now, I'm going to end this video. I have more. I'm thinking I'm going to actually do another video about it, and leave this one off. So, yeah. So welcome to the Nerd Show. I'm going to, my next video will be Batman vs. Superman, and the Batman vs. Superman trailer, the new one, and Captain America's Civil War, and I'll be comparing the two. And then I will return again for my second video regarding Man of Steel, and addressing more of the criticisms and discussing more of that. Alright, and down the road, you can check out my game reviews that I'll be having, and lots more things to come from this show. I'm Blaze, the Batman Fanatic, signing off.